Hey guys, my name is Reyes and welcome back to another tech review video. And in today's video we're looking at this DJI Osmo Mobile 2, a handheld gimbal for your smartphone. Now, a quick disclaimer. I will try to be as constructive as I can be, but I will be a little bit biased because I'm a big fan of DJI and all the tech that they make. It's one of those brands that you just know. If they made it, it's gonna be well built, well designed, long lasting and worth the price. There is so much to love about the stabilizer, just a little bit not to love, and that's what this video is gonna be about. I bought the stabilizer on eBay for about £90 and it came in this really useful foam case that is also made by DJI, which I do believe is damage proof, so if I drop, nothing should happen with it. Anyways, the only other things that came into the box was this user manual and a micro USB wire. Several people online have been complaining about the fact that the previous version of the Osmo Mobile had a rubber grip on the handle, which apparently made it more look aesthetic and more expensive. And of course, supposedly a rubber grip should make it easier to hold. But I don't think that's the case this time because, yeah, the handle might seem a little bit plasticky, but I've never felt uncomfortable or unsafe while holding it. Now, I've never owned the first generation of this Osmo Mobile, so I can't really compare was it better or worse, but I can tell you that making it plastic made it a little bit cheaper, so it's more accessible for more consumers, which is a great thing. Obviously, it's not just the rubber grip that made it so much more cheaper than the first generation of Osmo Mobile, but making several such decisions has made them capable of making a newer, better product whilst reducing the price, and not a lot of tech companies would do something like that. Each year, mobile phones come out with even better cameras and better camera stabilization built in. I have an iPhone 6 and the image stabilization is really impressive for an iPhone that old. And 5 iPhones later, it's just incredible to see how much technology has evolved, where a smartphone camera has a better stabilization than my Canon 60D. So the question is, if the smartphones have such great cameras and such great stabilization built in, do we really need to pay extra £100 for even better stabilization? And hopefully you will find the answer in this video. Before I bought this Osmo Mobile 2, I also watched a lot of YouTube tech reviews about this, and a lot of people complain about the fact that when you're not using your Osmo Mobile 2, there is no way to lock it in one place. So when you're walking around, the gimbal part just kind of moves around and it doesn't really feel safe or comfortable. And I have to agree, it would feel a lot better if you could just lock the gimbal part so that they don't move around and feel more comfortable to carry around. So I invented a little life hack for myself, and maybe it will work for you as well. If you just take a little rubber band and put it around the moving parts, it doesn't move around that much. And when you want to use it, you just take it off, put the rubber band around your hand so it's always there when you need it. Now, let's talk about the micro USB situation. Each year, with every new technology that comes out, everyone's expecting it to have a USB-C port instead of a micro USB. And to be honest, I really don't have any strong feelings about this. Yes, it would be nicer to have a USB-C port so that it would charge things faster, but at this age and time, where most of the things have micro USB ports around, it just kind of makes the micro USB more versatile. Whenever I would be traveling with this tiny wire, I could charge up my headphones, my Osmo Mobile 2, my action sports camera, and if I would be an Android user, I could charge up my mobile phone as well. And yes, of course, I understand that if every company will just keep building in the micro USB, just because everyone has micro USB, we will never get to micro USB-C. But at this point, I really don't care, and I don't really mind that the Osmo Mobile 2 has a micro USB or a micro USB-C port. And if we're still talking about ports, it is really important to mention that they did build in another USB port at the back of it so that you could charge your mobile phone when you're not using your Osmo Mobile 2 in case it runs out of the battery. And if you would be an Android mobile phone user, you would still need just this little wire either to charge the Osmo Mobile 2 or to charge your phone with it. Unfortunately, as an Apple iPhone user, I do have to carry around another cable. And now let's talk about the battery life of this gimbal. Now, this time the battery is built into the handle and you can't remove it, just like you could with the first generation Osmo Mobile. But they added a little tripod mount at the bottom of it so that you could put it on any of the tripods and make it even more stable. On the DJI webpage, they do say that this has 15 hours of battery life, and it took me about 2 months and 5 full days of filming with it until it finally started showing that the battery might run out soon. The battery life of this thing is really impressive, especially taking in consideration how much stabilization and movements I made it do when I was filming. My iPhone battery died in about 2 hours of filming, but I'm not really surprised about iPhone battery life. But then again, the Osmo Mobile 2 could bring your phone back to life when you're taking a break from filming. And it's a good feeling that if you would be wanting to take a day trip, you wouldn't need to take a charger with you for this thing because it will definitely last. It weighs about 500 grams, and after filming and stabilizing for a while, your hands will get just a little bit tired. I want to show you some comparisons that I made with the gimbal and with just iPhone image stabilization, because I've always trusted that my iPhone has great image stabilization, which for a phone it still does. As you can see, with the DJI stabilizer, the image does look a lot smoother than with just an iPhone. Using the active track on your DJI app on your phone, you can select a certain object and the stabilizer makes sure that the specific object is on focus and in frame at all times. It is really easy to use for beginners. For someone like me who has never used any sort of electronic stabilizers, on the first day that I got it, I opened it, watched one YouTube video on how to stabilize the mobile phone onto the DJI, and I was ready to go. The app connects really easy with your phone. All the settings and options are really easy to set up, and all you have to do from now on is just start playing with all the different modes it has available. I already did mention the active track before, which is really convenient when you just want to make sure that a certain object always stays in focus and in frame while your DJI Osmo Mobile is moving around. Pretty cool. Another mode is the time-lapse mode, which isn't that significant because we can already do that on our smartphones. Motion lapse is where things get interesting, because I did try to film the same footage with the DJI gimbal and with just a regular tripod, which I have to admit, this is a really shitty tripod, but hey, I bought it when I didn't have a lot of money and I bought it on eBay for like $6. Anyways, what I was trying to say is you can set different locations where you want your camera to move around whilst it's taking a time lapse, and this is the result between both of them. Another surprisingly easy to use mode is Hyperlapse, where you can make very cinematic time lapses whilst walking around with your gimbal in your hands. And the best thing is all these modes work perfectly easy, and you don't need to be a pro to get a lot more professional footage. Another interesting mode that I didn't have yet time to test out is the Panoramic Shots. You pretty much know how panoramic pictures work on your mobile phone, but this time you're using your DJI gimbal to take different photos like that, and you can make one large photo that DJI app stitches together to have a seamless one big panoramic photo, which I believe could be looking really good. It also has a zoom button on the side, which I would never use, knowing how awful iPhone image quality becomes if you zoom into anything at all. You have two buttons at the top of the handle, which you can easily access with your thumb. One is the on, off, and mode button, and one is recording button. And if you press the mode button 3 times, it switches between the front and rear cameras. And you also have a joystick that you can move your gimbal and your camera around. As for accessories, you can get the official DJI base plate, which can help you make more stable shots when doing time lapses and motion lapses, or you can use it as a stand when you want to display it in your room to brag about your new toy. Or you can just buy these little tripod legs on eBay. I bought them for £3. They have the typical tripod mount and they work perfectly fine. They fold up, they're easy to use, and they don't take a lot of space and they're lightweight. And if you don't like to use your smartphone on your gimbals, then there is an adapter that you can use to put action sports cameras on your gimbal, which does say that they should fit pretty much most of the action sports cameras, but I do think they're mostly made for GoPro cameras, which is still cool in case you run out of the battery from your iPhone. And now for the conclusion. It is clearly not a professional gimbal, but then again, you're using your phone to film the videos, so clearly the image quality isn't professional either. But for £100 you do get amazing stabilization and filming possibilities that you could not do just with your mobile phone. Although it is advertised as a necessity for everyone to capture their best and most interesting moments in their life, I do think that you could just do the same thing with just your mobile phone, especially with the mobile phones that are now in 2018. But for the people who are interested in videography and cinematography, this could be a great tool and experience in training on how to use actual film equipment and stabilization gimbals in the future. So in conclusion, I do have to say, if you can afford it and you do enjoy filmmaking and video making, definitely get it. You will not regret it. It's amazing. Alright, that's it for today's tech video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was useful. Leave a like if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!